but I'll wait to see if the Ethereum price goes down on the news, if it get approved or if it get disapproved or whatever happen. So I'll just keep some space to maybe re-increase the leverage if it happens to be relevant. Otherwise, I think with this metric, as the Ethereum price catch up and start to rebalance toward Bitcoin, I think I should be doing pretty well for the next month or two.
So over the course of the last week, there's been a lot of rumors now about this new Ethereum ETF that honestly came out of nowhere. They were looking at about 10% chance of this getting approved, and now it's up to 75. And it seems like by the day it's getting closer and closer. And today is Thursday at the time of this recording, and this could be the day where we get our Ethereum ETF approval. Patrick, what are your thoughts on everything that's transpired here over the course of the last week?
Yeah, I think everybody was expecting that this would get rejected, and I think it looks like the crypto aspect is being a big narrative between the politicians, and like Trump is going full steam in trying to appease and appeal to the crypto voters, and then Biden is looks like his stance with Gensler and all that stuff is not making a lot of people happy there. So I think he realized that he's losing too many voters, and then maybe that could explain why things are moving in the right direction recently. So it's not impossible that tonight, like today, for you guys, we see the Ethereum ETF approved. And, we knew that the Bitcoin ETF was most likely going to be approved a long time ago, before it got approved. But kind of the Ethereum one is taking people by surprise a little bit. So I think it's not been priced in entirely. Whether the price of Ethereum should go down or up, we'll see what will happen, because let me share my screen a little bit. But
So while
yeah,
you're doing that, Patrick,
yeah,
because my thought process is last time we had the Bitcoin ETF rumors, there was like it was very sensitive in terms of the price action, right? People
yeah,
were very overreactive. Do you think a lot of people have learned from the first experience and are less reactive this time around?
that is possible. But the thing, if you see at the outflow uh, of the Bitcoin one, like it went up quite a lot at the beginning. Then it kind of stagnated for a little bit of a period, and now it's on the rise again. And the Grayscale outflow has really tapered off. And then if you look in the last few days, the GBTC, which is from Grayscale, there's not that much outflow compared to what it used to be. So I think the demand is still there and strong at the moment. So I think it's going well. So the big question is the same demand going to be there for the Ethereum one, or it's going to be the demand for Bitcoin will be split, Bitcoin and Ethereum, to try to diversify. So that part
This
is a
brings
bit
me to
unclear. Yeah.
Yeah, so this actually brings me to my next question, Patrick. What do you think this is? What kind of implications do you think this would have on the Bitcoin ETF? Is this bad news for Bitcoin?
Uh, That's a good question. I'm not, because they serve kind of two different purposes. One, it's a decentralized operating system, if you consider it that, and it could power what BlackRock called the RWA for the real world assets tokenization. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is a pure just store of value, kind of like gold in a sense. So they don't serve the same purpose. So, but I think if I were a pension plan and I want to dedicate a certain percentage of my portfolio to crypto, I would probably diversify between the two assets, because maybe their intention is not to use it for what it's the utility of it. But I think it may. I'm not convinced that people will sell out of Bitcoin to get Ethereum. I think they will just double down, and the new people that are coming in probably may split between the two. That's probably what I would suspect a bit more. But so one thing I was assuming is that, like the GPTC, that was the kind of Grayscale trust that started a long time ago. They had the same thing for Ethereum. So I would expect there would be selling pressure again from Grayscale when the ETF of Ethereum get approved. And then the question is, BlackRock and the others maybe didn't do as much marketing this time around because it came kind of by surprise a little bit. So I'm not sure the demand will be strong enough to offset the selling pressure of the Grayscale Ethereum ETF, basically. So that's a bit of a concern in a sense. But at the same time, if you look at the price of Ethereum, and I think we can take a look more at the Ethereum BTC, and I'll come to that for my GridBot discussion. But over time, it's been struggling quite a lot since you see August 2022. Actually, let's say from here, October 20. I think that as soon as people were assuming that the Bitcoin ETF was going to come, the Ethereum versus Bitcoin price was on a downward slope. And it's only recently, like because of a few days ago, that they announced that maybe it will be approved. So that's when you saw that really big spike of of the Ethereum price versus Bitcoin. So I think we broke this tendency, this trend line.
What do you think is going to be the next move? Some people are claiming that we'll have a Doge ETF. Some people are saying Solana ETF. Do you think that if, obviously we're not lawyers here, but if Ethereum ETF gets approved, does this open up the floodgates for all crypto or not necessarily?
No, but the thing is that to me, I think people are overthinking it. If if there's a crypto asset that is not SEC compliant because it's an unregistered security, they can just issue a fine, pay a fine, and then you're fine. Then yeah, to me, it's not something that would prevent you from being traded as an ETF forever. You just need to fix the issue. If it's to pay a fine, you just pay the fine and you're done. Right? So for me, Ethereum, they had issue with the staking. Now apparently the staking might be out of the reach of the ETF, which kind of is a pain in a sense. I think it would be better to have it. But my point is that Solana is supposed to be considered a security by the SEC. But if it is, who cares? Like all ETF can be security. People on Wall Street are not averse to investing in securities. So to me, it's not it's a nonsense point in a sense. So if Solana really want to get their ETF and the SEC doesn't want to allow them because it's an unregistered security, they probably can settle that with a fine of some sort. So I would not worry too much about this, and that's why I don't think Doge is that interesting from the perspective of a pension plan. But who knows? Like if it become a currency by use on Twitter, maybe that makes sense. But I think Solana is a lot more likely, in my opinion. And then I don't know about XRP, but the demand for XRP is it's not that great compared to Solana. So I would bet on Solana first. That would be my personal opinion. And I think to come back to what I was saying is that in terms of the Ethereum has been compared to Bitcoin has been trending down a lot. So there's quite a lot of catch up to do. So that's why even though there might be more selling pressure, I think the demand people may front run it and take the opportunity to buy it while the price is low, like the retail. So to me, I would expect the price of Ethereum to do well, and that's why I closed down my grid bot. That every week we talk about. So I closed it down after 21 days with 13.53% profits, which is not so bad, considering that I had only a 5x leverage in this case instead of a 10x, which I usually use. So not so bad. And then I reactivated the new grid bot, but this time I didn't use the coin M, which is basically Bitcoin traded on itself. I wanted to get exposure to Ethereum. And in this case, I did it through the Ethereum BTC pair. So that means that I don't have USDT in this. So whenever I sell the Ethereum while the price of Ethereum is going up, it's just basically converting it to Bitcoin. And when the price of Ethereum is going down, I'm just accumulating more Bitcoin. So to me, I'm accumulating both token, which is what I want for the time being. So that was a quick, easy way to do it safely. And in this case, that I did it between the range of 0.5 and 0.88 with 169 grids. That was the maximum. And yeah, so that's how it's happening. And then right now, it's been almost 2 days, and I'm up 0.21%. That is matched profit from the grid bot making profits. And then in overall term, it's 1.77. So I think, and this time I did a 10x leverage, and my liquidation price is quite low. So I'm thinking I may even try to increase this, maybe even a little bit. But I'll wait to see if the Ethereum price goes down on the news, if it get approved or if it get disapproved or whatever happen. So I'll just keep some space to maybe re-increase the leverage if it happens to be relevant. Otherwise, I think with this metric, as the Ethereum price catch up and start to rebalance toward Bitcoin, I think I should be doing pretty well for the next month or two.
So right now, Ethereum and Bitcoin, those are the two main tokens that are part of your portfolio in terms of that's
Of
where
the
your
grid bot.
attention is at the moment.
Yeah, for the grid bot specifically. So the advantage of that is that for all the people who could not have access to Coin M, I think it's probably much easier to find an exchange that support both Ethereum and Bitcoin pair together, and especially if there's grid bot and with leverage. So I think it's a lot more available for people who want to replicate a bit of my strategy. So probably what I'll do next is probably do one with Solana in the mix as well. So
Yeah, let's do that, and then maybe we can use like a decentralized exchange, perhaps just something that
yeah,
may be a little bit more readily available because there are some folks out in Europe that didn't have access to Binance or didn't have access to Bybit. So
yeah. I think I'll implement a strategy with yield farming on a decentralized exchange because that's easy to do. I won't have access to leverage, but at least if I just put, like maybe $1,000 just to demonstrate how much kind of yield I can generate by narrowing the range, I can maybe try that on maybe a mix of either Ethereum with Solana or Bitcoin with Solana or something along those lines.
sounds great.
Yeah,
Patrick, as always, thanks for all the information.
it's a pleasure.